Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing well and in good spirits. Today, I want to talk about Alex Padilla. I went to his webpage and saw the first sentence was the proud son of Mexican immigrants. I often hear people say we don't have no representation, nobody looks like us in those positions. And, a senator for the United States is a very influential and powerful position. All the local politicians are going to fawn over him. I didn't know anything about him except what I looked up, saw the first sentence, and that was enough for me to run with for what I have to say. I've worked with advocates from the San Francisco Bay Area more than with anyone else, I think. And so they've shared, experiences they've had going to Washington to meet with senators. And have shared stories of, the going-ons in the city, the developments, the familial ties to how their communities were affected by the businesses of these senators. And so I was more familiar with them. The thing is, the advocates that, I would work with, they went pretty hard at politicians and government. They were quick to call them racist for their policies and then back it up, right? So now that there's a senator there, the son of Mexican immigrants, the proud son of Mexican immigrants. I know a lot of people are big on pride too. What are you going to do now? Let me game you up on what you can do. You could do what, I think it was the Shawshank Redemption, where dude wrote a letter every friggin' week until he got his library. Take a look around your community and see what it needs. And then write him a letter every week. Now, he's busy, he's important. He's got a lot of people to see to. And congratulations, by the way, Alex Padilla. Congratulations, man. Props. It makes me happy regardless of however you turn out, that glass ceiling was broken, and that little vatos who are also the son of immigrants can, aspire to that one day. And not even knowing how good or bad you'll do, hopefully they do even better. And I'm sure you would want that too, right? So back to everyone else, I think you should write them a letter. Really see what your community needs. Write a letter, say these are the issues I have in my community. This is how you can help. And there's often, when that happens, outside folks with better capacity to navigate grant writing opportunities and the jargon necessary to appeal to the grant reviewers, et cetera, tend to get funding, and things don't change in the community. So this goes to kind of my next point. I hear folks say that, well, I'll just talk about me. It doesn't matter what they say. I can make my point without that. When I first started learning about, systemic racism and advocacy opportunities, I I told myself I have to do this job without ambition or fear. And the ambition part kind of goes to something that, this guy I've been quoting lately, mysticism writer Carlos Castañeda, says that the average man does things for profit. The warrior does them for spirit. And so, granted, I'll be honest, I was getting paid to do it. I was asked to do it. I didn't go looking for it. And then when I saw what I saw, it just called me. And now I do it without getting paid for it. So, that meant to me that I can't make decisions based on what's best for me. That would be the ambition. The fear is not doing things because I'm afraid of how they'll affect me. I hear people say, well, you can't say anything no more because you'll get canceled. And the truth is, you do have the freedom to still say those things. But you choose to be part of the system because you're afraid of being canceled. Somehow, there must be a financial interest there that you don't want to lose by being canceled. You do have that decision. You can still choose to say whatever you want and then live with the consequences. To say you can't say things anymore is to say you're not free. And so I'm not saying I'm a warrior, but I do feel like I am at war with systemic racism. And the the part about the prophet, I think is can get real blurry. This is I guess a philosophical question I'm gonna propose to you guys that I don't have the answer to, but I think it's a deep question. When Trump got elected, that night I saw how it went in the Rust Belt, Pennsylvania and Michigan, which were Democratic strongholds. They came back, not Wisconsin, but Michigan and Pennsylvania came back like this just last week or Tuesday. But when I saw that, I thought, you can put some money down, and I had the money to put down on stock in corporations that run private prisons. I knew they were going to blow up. I didn't think it took a rocket scientist to see that, because I saw it and I'm not a rocket scientist. And sure enough, the stock for those companies like GeoCore and them, it blew up because everybody, they started getting all their contracts again. Obama had shut them down, and everyone who invested made a lot of money. I was also aware of when fracking was first happening, people told me, hey, if you invest in North Dakota oil, you'll blow up. And I didn't, because, just beliefs I have about blood money. Sibo says, blood money, you take some, you owe some. I thought that was deep. It's a song, Mo Money. It's a dope song. And so someone then told me, well, you should have invested that money in that prison industry complex. And then all the money you made used for lawyers to help people there, so that the people that do want to profit off suffering, you're taking from them. And that was like a deep question. Like, damn, that does make sense. Um, but I still saw it as blood money in a way, and I guess I didn't want to use blood money to help people. And so I think that when you help people and you want to get paid from it, you can still do good. Good can come of it. But if you do it not for profit, you'll nurture your soul. I've heard folks say, in response to an argument that, they have a big channel or they have a lot of subscribers, as if that somehow validates what they're saying. And again, going to Carlos Castañeda, he says average people seek validation in the eyes of onlookers and call that self-confidence. He says the warrior seeks impeccability in his own eyes and calls that humility. And that's why he goes on to say the average man is tied to his fellow man, while the warrior is only tied to eternity. And so as I encourage you, and I give you this game on how to be more relevant, I hope you think about doing it because you want to nurture your spirit. You see something missing in your community and you say, man, there ain't no library here. Fuck it. The same thing the dude from the Shawshank Redemption wanted. There ain't no library here. And these kids, they should have a library. And then write a letter every week. Boom, boom, boom. Look, I found a new site. This site could work. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, these people said they'll donate books. And then just keep writing and writing. And then as you talk to other people, they'll be like, hey, man, we appreciate you trying to do that for us. You want us to write a letter too? Yup. Here's his address to his office. When I went to his webpage, he did have constituent services. And so because I don't know him, I would say start there. And then if that doesn't work, I would just write him directly. That's kind of been my, my strategy is, as a member of the public, you have a right to address public officials. And I often hear folks going back to the initial point that we don't have folks there. Well, there's someone there that looks like you, that has probably a lot of similarities to you as far as, being raza, if that's important to you. Now, instead of being mad that there's no one there that looks like you, you should start writing him and telling him what your issues are. Give him the benefit of the doubt if you don't know him. I don't know him. But I'm going to look for some issues in my community, and I already know what they are. I have letter writing campaigns. And then he'll just be CC'd on the letters now. This is what's happening, and it's happening across the state. And it's not fair to my neighborhood, and it's not fair to other neighborhoods like my neighborhood. And, and that's how you do it. And at some point, this isn't game because, game, I think there's a for-profit intent. But there's a saying, game recognized game. And if you come with good ideas that can help your community and they can look good, for thinking about it, coming up with it, because sometimes they do steal your ideas and then try to act like they came up with them. It's happened to me. It should you should find comfort if good comes out of it, even if you don't get the credit. That said, I hope you have a very good day. And I hope you start looking around, see what your neighborhood needs, and look up Alex Padilla's address and the constituent services and start engaging. So you take it to the next level. So you learn that there are people out there and you got to hold them accountable. You can't just whine about it on YouTube. You got to hold them accountable and you got to let them know what you need. Because if you don't, some of the blame is on you too. That said, I say this with much love and respect for everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed day.